Chris Cuomo here. Welcome to NewsNation. Right and wrong can be very different from what matters to the right and left. Right is celebrating the SpaceX launch, not because of Elon Musk. Who cares about him? This is about a chance to save astronauts that have been up there way too long, okay? Losing bone density, okay? This is a beautiful achievement if it happens. The people hating on the launch, mocking the effort, wishing it not to work, these people are the problem. And I know it's easy to be your worst on social media, to go on there. But listen, here's what needs to happen. If you want decency, be decent and call out indecency. You have a role. You have power. You're going on there anyway. So many of you are desperate to engage. Go after these people. Maya Angelou taught us well. If you don't like something, change it. And if you can't change it, change your attitude. You have that power, and we need it. People are way too casual with being so caustic, with being their worst. Be the change. Another right move that is being called wrong is not shutting down the government. A shutdown does nothing to the people who cause it. It only punishes the public. I am no fan of continuing resolutions. They are supposed to be for emergencies. And they were designed in a way to assume that Congress would keep negotiating on appropriations. Now, they're the rule more than the exception. Democrats and Republicans both kick the can, basically quitting on doing the real job of negotiating and passing all 12 appropriation bills. No one gets to do this in their job. None of us. Only in Congress. But this one in particular must be exposed to show how ugly the play is. Senator Schumer backed off the shutdown threat. Why? Because he was told the last thing Democrats need is to shut the government down and once again seem to be against the interests of the majority. And you know what? He made the right call. But not according to many leaders in his party. They want you to believe that they're fighting for you by shutting down the government. They just want to play the game. And I'm not just talking about the AOC socialist types, okay? Most media are playing up the split in the Democrat ranks. I don't give a damn about that. That's part of the problem. They just love covering the game. Did you hear what Pelosi said and Hakeem Jeffries and his Schumer? Forget it. Forget playing their game. Expose it. Make it end, okay? Pelosi actually wants senators to defy Schumer and shut the government down. Pelosi's statement is proof of the problem. Trump and Musk have offered the Congress a false choice between a government shutdown or a blank check. What proof is there of that? It makes a devastating assault on the well-being of working families across America. What proof is there of that in this CR? I read it. America has experienced a Trump shutdown before, but this damaging legislation only makes matters worse. How? How? We must fight back for a better way. What better way? Telling senators to defy Schumer? Pelosi postures like this is about fighting for you against tax cuts for the rich and taking pressure off the working class. That is bull blank bleep. This is a continuing resolution. Do you know what that means? Pelosi does. She's lying to you about it. Why? Advantage. A continuing resolution means they are extending the funding from the last budget deal, which was a CR. Okay? It was under Biden. It was basically the same spending that is in this one. So what is Pelosi's proposition? That the Democrats were doing you dirty when they all agreed to this same spending that Biden signed last year? Is that what she's saying? Here is the fact. In September, Biden signed $1.6 trillion in a continuing resolution, a CR. All the Democrats voted for it. December, Biden signed another one, $1.7 trillion CR. Added over $100 billion in disaster aid. There was a specific circumstance. And basically all the Democrats voted for it. Now this bill, this CR, is essentially the same. Same one they passed in December. It has $1.7 trillion in funding, just like that one. Are there any differences at all? Yes. Yes, there are. It cuts the D.C. budget by $1 billion. and other earmarked programs. It adds $6 billion to defense spending. But these aren't major changes in spending. The only legit gripe is that this CR is twice as long as the last two. But they're not arguing that. This is about party advantage, and you see it in the party pawns. Looks like a government shutdown is going to be avoided, handing a political victory to President Trump. What's the suggestion in this BS? Right? That they shouldn't have done it, that they should have fought back, that the Democrats are weak. That is somebody who doesn't give a damn about what's happening to people, just which side seems to be winning. A CR isn't a win. It's a punt. It's avoiding disaster. But all of this rhetoric is just stirring the pot because social media mavens thrive on the game. Congressman Ro Khanna wrote, when the Senate Minority Leader sells you out, the only option is to take back the party and country with grassroots activists in blue and red districts to stand up for the Constitution and our democracy. I respect Ro Khanna. I asked him to come on tonight to defend this. And when he wants to, he will be welcome. But how did Schumer sell out by keeping the government going? Was there another deal to be had? No. So then you wanted a shutdown. This is the wrong way to do what is right. Democrats need to wake up to the fiscal reality that we are drowning in debt and can't keep spending like we were in a pandemic. Punishing the rest of us for their inability to make a deal, their inability to win enough elections so that they have control, is BS. And again, when the Democrats were in power, they did CRs too that had the almost exact same spending that's in the current bill. That's why I'm so pissed off about it. They have no high ground on this, okay? This isn't cutting Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare and in favor of a tax cut for the top. If that's what was in this, go for it. Fight to the death. That's a hill to die on. They did it twice in a row, just like this. I gave you the numbers. It's a game. Please see it and reject it. Another wrong move. Now, look, here's where you're going to get upset. I have completely clear eyes when it comes to what President Trump is and is not. I do not take what he says seriously all the time. He wildly exaggerates facts and circumstances and often backs off on what seems like a hard position and would be for just about any other politician, but not Trump. However, today he said something that he can't get away with. That speech at the DOJ was all huff and puff from the campaign trail, except for one threat that the man who's in charge of our country cannot say without being taken to task. And here it is.
And I believe that CNN and MSDNC, who literally write 97.6% bad about me, are political arms of the Democrat Party. And in my opinion, they're really corrupt and they're illegal. What they do is illegal.
My first reaction was, what does that mean they are illegal? He didn't even read the stat right. Then I realized it doesn't have to make sense to be something that should incense every one of you. Look, you do not get to punish a free press because you don't like what and how it reports. Politicians have always had a problem with this, okay? You have these new digital megaphones, the pod people. They're not reporters. They're not journalists. They're giving you hot takes, and there's a place for that, okay? I have a podcast. I get it. But there's a reason that they're all attacking journalists and journalism. It's because they want the market share, all right? Trump prefers them because most of the ones making money are kissing his hiney, all right? If that changes, his position towards them will change. And I get why politicians don't like people in the press. I grew up with one of them. I was raised by one. And I'm old enough to remember as a working journalist when President Obama's Attorney General, Eric Holder, came after journalists who refused to reveal sources. I get the animus. There's always been tension. But the idea of calling us illegal and suggesting in a speech at the DOJ that you somehow want to use them in this way, that is lawfare at its ugliest. And remember, the one piece of high ground that you have to give Trump, well, you don't have to, but I do, is that political opponents went too far in trying to prosecute him instead of just beating him at the polls. But now he is threatening to do something that is worse than what was ever done to him. And it is wrong. And I don't care if he doesn't like it. And I don't care if you don't like it. If no one around him has the guts to tell him this, then he has to hear it from me. You, sir, are our president, and you need to be better than this. If you want all of the canceling and the use of prosecutorial powers to go after people on the basis of political opposition to change, you need to be the change. You want to be considered great? Attacking a free press will never get you anywhere near Mount Rushmore. The only rush will be to forget you. And to say this at the DOJ when you're trying to return that agency to its roots of staying out of politics, it's wrong, and we all know it. And whatever consequence comes with that, let it come. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.